So, yeah, Apple published this article about their foundation models framework, all tied into Apple Intelligence. And honestly, I wanted to share it here because it's kind of a turning point. They're highlighting a bunch of real apps showing how folks are already using these on device models to build smarter features. And I think there's some legit inspiration here if you're thinking about bringing this kind of AI into your own app. Just real quick, I'm Daniel. Been living in the iOS trenches for, 8 years now? Started off freelancing, working with clients, figuring out what actually works and what just burns you out. But after Dub 25, I kind of flipped the switch and went all in on solo dev life. Since then, I've shipped a bunch of my own apps, started putting everything out there in public, and honestly, these days, pretty much all my energy is going into Crafters Lab. And this isn't just another tutorial site or another AI clone farm. This is my actual home base for solo devs who treat AI like a real teammate, not just a vending machine. It's packed with solo devs resources and access to my live command center. This is where I actually plan out new apps, draft the docs, write my .md files, and share the real process behind every build. There's a full curated Swift and Swift UI library in there too. Basically all the deep dive resources I actually use to fine tune, train, and power up Claude or Codex. And the newest piece, Ops Lab, is where I'm building and sharing all my AI agent systems. Those Notion setups, workflows, and automations that keep the whole indie stack connected. So, yeah, if you want your own command center and not have to start from scratch, and honestly, if you want to get in early and lock your membership, now is kind of the sweet spot. And yeah, if you're part of the Patreon crew, huge thanks and heads up, everything's moving over to crafterslab.dev. All right, let's break it down. Just like we're debugging this together, no marketing filter. What Apple shipped here is basically a local language model. It's like a slimmed down, Apple optimized version of something like GPT, but it runs directly on your device. No cloud servers, no OpenAI keys, no privacy headaches. And yeah, it's really just part of Swift now. You pull it in like any other framework, import foundation models, and suddenly your app can, respond to prompts, summarize stuff, fill out forms, all from the device itself. The first time I saw this in code, it almost felt fake. You just spin up a language model session, send it a string, and it responds. That's it. No register for an API key, no weird config. You're just talking to a model that lives inside your app. I actually tried it in a Swift UI preview just to see if it would choke, and it worked. It's like having a tiny version of ChatGPT just hanging out in your app ready to help out, but it never leaves the device. And, the big win here isn't just that it works, it's that it feels like Swift. You don't have to bolt on a new stack or jump through a bunch of ML hoops. You import, you prompt, you get a result. That's it. It feels native. And honestly, that's the kind of thing that actually sticks in my workflow. Okay, so here's where I get a little bit fired up because as a solo dev, this is the stuff I dream about. No more spinning up some Frankenstein backend just to get smart features. No more sending user data to random clouds and praying it's safe. You can just build, and everything is local, private, and way more Apple-y than anything we've had before. Apple's own article shows off some killer examples, but what really stuck with me were the real apps they highlighted. There's a workout app that takes your natural language prompt. Hey, give me a beginner core workout for 15 minutes. And boom, it generates a full routine. Sets, reps, rest times, all structured. It even kicks out a summary after you're done. Or the journaling app, it can now generate hyper personal prompts based on your own entries. So if you've been feeling a little down lately, it'll notice that. And next time it nudges you, hey, how's your mood today? It's not just reading your mind, it's responding to your actual data in a way that would feel super sketchy if it was going off to the cloud. But here, it never leaves the phone. You get all the value, none of the privacy trade-offs. And that's the real magic for solo devs, right? We finally get to build features that feel smart, genuinely smart, without sending someone's entire journal or health data off to a server. You can tap into everything on device, calendar, contacts, health, whatever, and use it to make apps feel personal, fast, and private. For me, this unlocks so many ideas I'd shelved because I just didn't want to deal with privacy or build out a whole back end just to prototype something. Now, you can test, ship, and iterate right in Swift. That's a massive shift. It's not about building an AI app, it's about building a better app, the one you already wanted to make, just, a little bit smarter. All right, let's get into the real talk. You might be thinking, okay, but is this just another wrapper for chatbots? Or is it something I should actually care about? And yeah, as someone who spent the last year bouncing between Claude, Cursor, Codex, and all the usual suspects, here's what's honestly different about Apple's approach. The first thing is local. Everything runs on device, full stop. That means no token limits that randomly reset at the end of the month. No, your quota is up when you're in the middle of a feature. No sending API keys to some third-party dashboard and hoping they don't get leaked. Second, structured data. This is what really got me. You can define a struct, just a regular Swift struct, mark it with @foundation model, and then prompt the model to fill it out from plain English. It's like turning natural language directly into your own data types. Think codable, but in reverse. You're decoding language into typed data. And yeah, it actually works. You say, suggest a weekend trip to the Alps, and you get a filled in destination struct with name, location, and a description. That's kind of wild. And this is the fun part. You can even wire up your own Swift functions as tools for the model. So if someone types, what's the weather in Paris? You can have the model decide to call your weather function, use the real data, and respond. It's function calling, but local. No servers, no round trips, just pure Swift code running on your own device. I tried wiring up a Pomodoro timer just to see if it could actually trigger it, and it did. Like, the model wasn't just responding, it was doing. If you're coming from Claude or Cursor, this is the piece we've all wanted, having an AI that doesn't just write code or spit out text, but actually runs your code right in your app. That's agent territory. But Apple's version is way less drama, way more Swift. And one more thing. Privacy is baked in at every level. Apple isn't doing this so they can build the next giant cloud LLM. They're building it so every app can feel personal without ever handing over user data. And honestly, that's a huge win for anyone who cares about trust, which as a solo dev is your whole brand. So yeah, if you're still hanging out, seriously, you're a legend. I just appreciate you sticking with me this far. And honestly, if anything in this whole rant resonates with you, or you just want to go a little deeper on what it actually feels like to build solo in this new Apple AI era, definitely check out crafterslab.dev. I mean, that's my real home base. It's got everything I wish I'd had back when I was fumbling through my first Swift UI projects, trying to make sense of all this stuff on my own. There's a Discord if you want to actually stay accountable and see through the fog. Honestly, some of the best solo devs I know are already in there, just sharing notes, trading wins and fails, the real stuff. There's a bunch of resources rolling out too, app blueprints, Figma foundations, deep dive growth stuff, and honestly, just the sort of nerdy indie tools that I would have killed for a couple years ago. But what I'm most excited about, the Notion workspace. Like, this isn't just some folder of docs. These are full-on team spaces. There's the playbook, which is kind of my live command center, where I plan apps, sketch out docs, and show the unfiltered behind-the-scenes process for every build. Then there's Swift Brain, which is my personal hand-picked library of all things Swift and Swift UI. The actual deep dives I use when I want to power up Claude, Cursor, Codex, whatever. And the newest piece, Ops Lab, that's where I'm building and sharing the Notion setups, workflows, automations, all the glue that keeps my whole indie stack moving, put it all together, and yeah. I call it Crafter OS. It's like this weird, evolving operating system for solo devs who treat AI like an actual teammate, not just a magic button. I'm still refining it, still breaking things and rebuilding them, but that's the fun part, you know. If you want to get in as a early member and lock in your price, honestly, now's the time. Not gonna lie, it's kind of wild seeing what's possible when you stop trying to do everything alone. Anyway, thanks for being here. And for real, if you try anything from this video and it changes your flow or even just helps you survive the next big shift, drop a comment or come say, hey, in the Discord. I love hearing what actually works for other solo devs or what totally blew up either way. So yeah, until next time, keep building, keep experimenting, and just remember, solo doesn't mean you have to do it all by yourself. All right, peace.